To play Perkins chromatically, there's two things you need to do. One is update the firmware, and two is make some modifications to the config page on the Perkins itself. Updating the firmware, well, I've already done it on this machine, so didn't want to risk sort of rolling it back and doing it again, because who knows. But the process is pretty simple. You download the .img file from the Erica site, link below. You take out the SD card from the back of the Perkins, obviously it's switched off, take out the card, drop the .img file onto the top level of the SD card, so the root folder on the SD card, put the SD card back into Perkins, hold all four trigger buttons down, then switch the unit on. When you do that, you'll see lights start to trickle along the 4 rows. That means it's updating, so you can let those go. When all 4 rows have lit up sequentially, the unit is updated, and now you've got firmware 1.1. Then you need to make some adjustments on the config page of Perkins. To get into that, hold down Shift and press Mod. If you want to get out of that, press Mod twice, at least that's what I do. So Shift, Mod. Now you're in the config page. Now you'll need to look at the little chart on the Erica Synths site to see which buttons you should press on and off to get what particular functions activated. And it has changed slightly with the 1.1 update. So the main ones we'll do here, this is either single MIDI mode or multi-MIDI mode. And we want it on multi so we can have each instrument on a different MIDI channel. So we'll click that to get multi-MIDI mode. This one is kit effects. So when it's on, it means that the BBD settings will be saved with the kit. That's very nice. This one is the invert odds button. So when that's on, it means when you're doing the probabilities, so for example, you go into a pattern of hits and you'll have a little hit here and you'll say, oh, only hit 1 time out of 4. Well, when that is off, the 1 time out of 4 it hits will be the first time through. Whereas more logically, you'd want it as a fill at the end of 4 bars, say, so you want it to be the last, not the first. So to get that fill to happen as the last, or that probability of a hit to happen in the last bar rather than the first, switch that on. Now another ones you could do if you wanted, this one's MIDI velocity. So if that's on, then it's velocity sensitive. One that I like is the vintage effect on the BBD. So to get that, you switch that one on. And then up here, we've got the MIDI clock options. So these first 3 buttons here is MIDI clock. So the first option is internal clock, MIDI clock, or analog clock. Well, I'm going to go with MIDI clock because the routing I've got set up here is I've got the ERM MIDI clock coming into the key step 37. The 37's MIDI is going out and into the Perkins. So the Perkins is getting the clock from the key step, which is getting the clock from this MIDI clock. It also means then that this arpeggiator and such is all going to be synchronized up, which will be nice when playing the Perkins from the key step. Now there's one other thing you might want to do, and that is go into the multi-channel sub-menu, which is this. Now once you're in that, these 4 lanes represent the 4 voices, and the buttons represent the channels. So at the moment, all 4 voices are on channel 1. But if you wanted, say, MIDI channel 1, 2, 3, 4, you'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, which is quite nice. Or, you know, have them all on 5, or have them all on 1, whatever you like. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. Back out of that. And now we're back into normal operations. So MIDI channel 1. So we'll put this on MIDI channel 1. Now we should play the first voice. channel 4. And I've already slightly tuned these, and I admit it was a tiny disappointment because in my naive, innocent optimism, I had hoped that if you wind the tune knobs all the way back down to 0, that they'd all be C or they'd all be A, or somehow or other they'd all be the same. But it's not the case at all. Different voices and different algorithms start at different points and different notes. So it's all got to be tuned manually. But when you think about it, that really makes sense. Couldn't be any other way. So maybe not a huge deal. Let's go back and put all 4 voices onto channel 1. There's no other effects on this. This is just pure Perkins. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4 again. And we'll take, let's take voice 4, so MIDI channel 4. Well, maybe. Let's put something else on there so we can see. Let's also put voice 2 on channel 4. So it'll be voice 1. Yes, that little thing's not being very helpful, but then the sound's a bit weird, I suppose. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. Channel 1. Keep that droning. Go to channel 2. hours of fun for the whole family. Until next time, see ya.